Okay, so hi there. This is Bertie Bird, and I've got a little bit of a sore throat, so apologize if my voice sounds really croaky. This is a sketch I did earlier, and it's just using basic biro over pencil lines. Usually I don't use pencil, but I had this idea, scribbled it down, then I just kind of went over it with biro. What I will do, I will be coloring in this new character that I've kind of redesigned. So he's not really a new character. I drew him about less than a year ago. And I've made this kind of like had this vision that he'd be my, like the final form of it. And his final form, he's a bit more tidy, not so brutish, which you'll see what I mean when I go through this sketchbook. But at the moment I've got so many pages I need to like fill up. That's why I haven't gone over it. Right, so what I'm looking to do, as I've kind of plotted out where his eyes are, they look very kind of like, I don't know, almost like soulless, which is fine considering he is the three-eyed horned god, and it's not exactly going to be necessarily a good guy. So as you can see, this time around I've got my hands free. Last time I was holding my camera phone, but at the moment I managed to get a selfie stick and a clamp, and it seems to be working a treat to prop it up. So I could go over some of the lines. I'm just using a uniball 0.05. I'm thinking of basically to put slightly more detail on the eyes by actually going over the biro, and as you can see, the lines should get a little bit more visible. Biro ink isn't exactly the very best. Obviously, it's nice and cheap, and it's good to work with when you have limited supplies available to hand. Right, so what I will be doing, like I say, is going to just be adding a little bit more detail, how I'd like his eyes to be featured. I think because I'll be coloring him in, and a little bit more definition would be something that would go a long way. So apologies for my voice sounding a little bit croaky once again. Right, so just planted his eyes so we know where they are. Right. So I'm going to kind of like working out in my head how I want his eyes to appear, and kind of okay, so it will make more sense when I start adding color, I believe. Kind of worked out how I want his color scheme to be. As you can see, I've slightly detailed his eyes because I want him to have a slightly more, doesn't necessarily need to be a cold appearance to start off with. Although I did like the way he looked as a concept, that's absolutely fine with me. His middle eye, his third eye, just gonna make that a little bit more pronounced. Now, I am only a hobbyist. I didn't go to school for art or anything, so I do this as a hobby for funsies. I like drawing. I'm actually a biomedical engineer, so I'm not going to be amazingly talented like other artists, but in truth, artists all have to work their ass off to get to where they are. And that's exactly what I'm doing on my journey. I'm going to try work my ass off, doing daily sketches. Sometimes I'll work on more sketches than other days, but I try get as many hours as I can in, because without the practice, I'm just not going to improve. And I want to obviously improve. Okay, so I think, I mean, it's not exactly the most polished piece, because this is just a sketch and a sketchbook. I'm feeling like I just want to add some color now. So I've just kind of gone over that and improved the eyes, putting a bit more information down. Now, not necessarily, you know, more is better. Usually less is better, but in his case, it gives me a better idea of working out, like, you know, what he'll be like. And to me, that's fairly important. Yeah, I'm just kind of working something in here, which I think would be interesting once I figured out exactly what I'll do here. Right. Yeah, previously for inking, I was bringing to work this kind of Stabilo kind of 0.4 ink. It's really cheap, and it really showed, because when I used it, the ink literally had no flow even after the first time of actually using it. So I'm sticking, well, obviously at home, with a better brand, although I have been using this one to death. But Inwool pen, fantastic, I do love them. Right, okay, so mostly biro, a little bit of pencil being used on this, and I've gone over certain points, especially the eyes, because I want to put more detail in. I'm just going to pause so I can just get the right colors together. One moment.